Then we get into the last bit of this podcast, my New Year predictions. So, wrestling is going to be around for the entire 2020s, I like to believe. What do I believe is going to happen this year in professional wrestling? I have a great list that I'll go back to at the very end of the year to see if I got right. Let's get into it. I got a few things listed here. So my first prediction for 2020 is that I believe... Now, I made this list. I made this list the day after Wrestle Kingdom. The day after Wrestle Kingdom. So, 2 things on this list already happened, which means your boy got his prediction right for the first part of the year. First thing is that Brock Lesnar will wrestle in the Royal Rumble match, which I got right. I also wrote down that I believe that Keith Lee and Matt Riddle will be the men to eliminate Brock Lesnar from the Royal Rumble. We'll see about that. I believe that Shayna Baszler will win the Women's Royal Rumble match and challenge Becky Lynch for the Raw Women's Championship at WrestleMania. And I believe that Roman Reigns will win the Men's Royal Rumble match and challenge The Fiend for the Universal Championship at WrestleMania. Now to go into my predictions here, Shayna Baszler, I feel like she just lost the NXT Women's Championship. There's nothing for her. You know, she entered in that little mini feud with Becky Lynch that had Bayley just be there. And Bayley got tapped out at Survivor Series for Shayna to win. So they have a little bit of unresolved issues between Becky and Shayna. So I definitely can see this match happen at WrestleMania. So I'm going to go with Shayna winning. Roman, I don't want him to win. I'm out cheering for Roman to win. But he's been in the dark for a while now. I think ever since Roman Reigns came back from beating cancer, they've done their best to make him in the background and make sure the crowd isn't going to boo him right away. Because they know if they were to push him right out the gate, we would rebel because of past grievances. However, he's not going to be in the dark forever. I believe 2020, Roman Reigns is going to make his comeback. Now, whether the fans take to it is up to you guys. Now, me personally, I don't watch Raw on SmackDown to really give a shit. But if Roman Reigns is going on WrestleMania to face The Fiend, I don't think he's going to beat The Fiend. I don't think he should beat The Fiend. Roman Reigns has this road to redemption storyline, and he still fails to beat The Fiend at WrestleMania. Keep The Fiend strong. For who? I don't know. But I don't think The Fiend should be losing. He beats Daniel Bryan. He beats The Miz. This is an unstoppable monster you have built up. You can't just have Roman Reigns go in there and just beat this man. Not within an inch of his life like Seth Rollins did. And even then, guess what? The Fiend didn't even lose that match, technically. So who do you have beat him? I don't know, but I wouldn't have it be Roman Reigns. That's how you have the crowd turn on Roman again. Because I'll be honest, once upon a time, I hated Roman Reigns. 2015, hated Roman Reigns. 2016, hated Roman Reigns. 2017, hated Roman Reigns. 2018, I kind of mellowed out on him, and I was like, okay, I don't not like him, but, whatever. 2019, I'm like, okay, he's cool, I guess. I don't like him, but, I don't not like him either. I'm indifferent. 2020, I don't want to hate Roman Reigns again. Who here wants to hate Roman Reigns? No one wants to hate this man. This man beat cancer. I don't want to boo him. I'm going to feel bad if I boo him. But guess what? If it's something I don't like, I'm going to boo. I don't want to boo Roman Reigns. So I hope if he does win a Rumble, which I'm guessing he will. I don't want him to, but I'm guessing he will. I hope he doesn't beat The Fiend at WrestleMania. I don't. I really don't. I also believe that Matt Hardy, Brody Lee, who already got released, so one prediction already right. Matt Hardy, Brody Lee, and the Revival will leave WWE and sign with AEW. Matt Hardy's contract is coming up next month, and it seems like he's already 1 foot out the door ready to go. There's nothing WWE's doing for him. He's older. He's slower. What else is there for him to do in WWE? They're not going to push him to the main event scene. They're not going to have him win the Royal Rumble. They're not going to have him win. There's nothing for him to do there. When he came back to WWE 2017, aside from the Hardy Boy stick, there was nothing for him to do outside of the broken gimmick. And guess what? That went nowhere after 3 months. So Matt Hardy leaving is best for him, honestly. If he resigns, all right, but I see him leaving. I think he's going to AEW. And I think he's going to be the leader of the Nightmare Collective. Yeah, right. The leader of the Dark Order. I can get behind that. Brody Lee, Luke Harper, already been released by WWE. I see him going to AEW and turn it up down there with all the other talent. This guy is so immensely gifted, and we wouldn't know that because they don't do shit with him. WWE hasn't. AEW, I hope they're going to do something with this man. But I'm interested. I'm interested to see what he does. He's going to be at WrestleCon. We know that much. Will he sign with AEW is the question. I think he will. The Revival. They've been treated like dog shit ever since they've been to the main roster. I think they're going to leave. And I hope. Because nowadays, people talk about wanting to leave and go to AEW, but it's just a crux to get more money. And then they end up signing with WWE in the end. So I wouldn't be surprised if they do end up signing with WWE. And I just sit there and I laugh like, okay, well, if you get treated like shit for the rest of your careers, I won't feel bad. Io, it's a big maybe. I mean, I hear reports about her making less money at NXT than she did in Stardom, and that her husband, her husband, Evil. I didn't even know she's married to Evil, honestly. Evil being in New Japan and her being away from her husband, that's gotta suck. That's gotta really suck. So that's a big maybe. She could leave. I mean, they've been doing her right in NXT. It's not like they're treating her badly in NXT. I don't see a reason for her to leave. But I'm not Io. I'm not Io. So maybe she will, maybe she won't. Kairi Sane, I don't think she's leaving. I believe that Kota Ibushi and Jay White, in no particular order, will both win the IWGP Heavyweight Championship at some point this year. I also believe that Zack Sabre Jr. and Hiroshi Tanahashi, at some point this year, will become the IWGP Intercontinental Championship. Now, that does mean I believe that the titles will be split apart at some point. I don't believe that Naito is going to hold on to both titles all year. I don't believe that Naito is going to keep those titles together all year. I don't see this scenario where New Japan is going to have one main title for years to come. I don't think that's going to be the case for 2020. I think at some point they're going to break those titles apart again. It's just a matter of when. I don't know when that's going to happen. I think it will happen. And when it happens, ZSJ Tanahashi, white belt, Kota Ibushi, Jay White, black belt. No particular order for either side. I believe that Jon Moxley or Taichi will win a New Japan Cup and challenge Naito at Sakura Genesis. Wide shot in the dark. I know. But I can't think of anybody else to win New Japan Cup. I don't want it to be Okada. It could be Okada. I don't want it to be Okada, but it could be. It could also be Jay White, but that'd be too predictable. Could be Will Ospreay, but I don't see Will Ospreay going at Naito right away. So I think White Shot in the Dark is Jon Moxley, since Jon Moxley going after the IWGP Heavyweight Championship, that strums up a lot of buzz for New Japan. If they want to get a lot of eyes on their product, they would make Jon Moxley go after the heavyweight title at some point, maybe after dropping the U.S. title to somebody, maybe Minoru Suzuki. Taichi and Naito have a long-running feud. They face off at least once a fucking year. This should be the time of the year they face off. This time for high stakes. Taichi has proven before he can have some kick-ass matches. I think if you give him a high stake, he can have a kick-ass match against Tetsuya Naito. And people might end up turning their eyes towards Taichi as a possible main eventer one day. He'll never get to that point, but a possible main eventer one day. I believe that Stardom will have another match featured on a New Japan show, possibly as early as Dominion, but it likely will not be televised once again. I believe for Stardom that Julia, Hana Kimura, and or Tam Nakano will at some point win the Wonder of Stardom Championship, and I believe that Momo Watanabe will at some point become the World of Stardom Champion, whether it be at Korakuen Hall in a few days or later down the line. I believe Momo will win the red strap. I believe Jon Moxley and MJF at some point this year will become the AEW World Champion. I believe that AEW ratings will peak at 1.5 million. I don't think it'll go any higher than that, and it definitely will go lower at some points, but I think 1.5 might be their ceiling for 2020. Hopefully higher, because then they'll be competing with Raw and SmackDown, but I think 1.5 might be the highest they'll reach this year. I believe that Tommaso Ciampa and Johnny Gargano are destined to be NXT champions again sometime this year, if not both, one or the other. I believe that NXT will peak at somewhere between 900,000 and 1 million viewers in the ratings. I don't really see them going to 1.5 like AEW, but who knows? I wouldn't be mad about it. And finally, I believe that AEW and New Japan at some point this year will sit down, cry it out, hug it out, make amends, and they will come to some type of partnership. And they'll find a way to incorporate select stuff. We were not going to see Kenny Omega as IWGP Heavyweight Champion. We're not going to see Okada as the AEW We're not going to see that type of shit. But we might see some guys like, Jungle Boy. You might see some guys like Darby Allin in BOS 828. Cody in the G1 Climax. Something like that. You could see maybe a Will Ospreay competing against Pac in AEW, like stuff like that. Nothing major, but because they don't do anything major like that with Ring of Honor, we don't see Jay Lethal competing for the IWGP Heavyweight Championship. So I don't see that happening in AEW or New Japan. But at some point, they will come down and they will sit down and they will talk it out.